Francisco and Denver last night. Jimmy Garoppolo back on the field, his first game since he tore up the ACL last year, and it went badly. This is his first pass. That gets knocked down right at the line of scrimmage, so that's not good. The very next one is worse. He's back to throw. He's getting a little pressure from Bradley Chubb, and that one is picked off. Not a great start for Garoppolo as he is intercepted by Isaac Yiadom. Now we're still in the first. I take another look here at the pressure that Garoppolo gets a little hit around the knee there. That you got to sort of feel that and make sure that works. So in that regard, that's not bad. Then here's another one that comes out wobbly. That's no good at all. As you've got the Broncos, bear in mind that's a very good defense that he's going up against. On a third down now, it's Garoppolo again. That one probably should have been a pick six. Should have gone the other way. Again, that's not a good throw with the pressure and the pocket breaking down. Kyle Shanahan cannot like what he sees here. Then on the next drive, deep in his own territory, that one's high and outside. Garoppolo finishes 1 of 6, 0 yards, 1 interception. Niners would win, but that's not the story.
You know, obviously a little frustrated, but that's the NFL. You know, it's unfortunately, we don't get to play the whole game right now, so you wish you could be out there for more so you could bounce back and everything, but something that I haven't done in a year, obviously. So, you know, got to knock the rust off and everything. And, you know, thankfully we have a short week this week so we could bounce back quickly. But, yeah, it's, you know, the first step of getting back into it.
He just had a year off football, and before that, you know, he only played in about 8 games total. So the more he can play, the better. I wish we could have kept him out there longer today. But you risk everyone else, too, so I had to get those guys out of there.
Makes a lot of sense. People forget sometimes just how little football this guy has actually played on the pro level, but you can't really hide the fact that this was a bad night. 1 of 6, 0 yards, all in the first quarter, and the only completion he had was thrown 4.8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, according to NFL Next Gen Stats.
Let's bring Adam Schefter back in on this. And it was not pretty for Jimmy G, but it was only 3 series. You heard everybody there talking about how they would like to have played him more. What are the Niners, Shefty, saying about the tough performance from Garoppolo?
Well, Laura, he's had an uneven summer. At times he's looked really strong during training camp. And then there was a day where he had 5 picks in one day that got people talking. And I think when you hear that much talk and chatter, maybe that impacts your confidence level. But as Kyle Shanahan pointed out, he hasn't practiced much. He hasn't played a lot. He's still getting used to that offense. He's still getting used to coming back from the torn ACL. This was his first game back. So this is all very new, and I don't think anybody there is alarmed in any kind of way right now. I think they do want him to make better decisions. They do want him to be more consistent. They do want him to make fewer mistakes, but they're hopeful that that comes over time, and they're not concerned right now.
Yeah, still plenty of time left. Thanks so much, Adam Schefter. And Greeny, to your point, could have had to do with the Broncos' good defense, too.
Yeah, that's one of the factors in this. And the other is literally kicking off the rust. And you were telling me, Joey, you had ACL injuries during your career. When you come back, the completions are secondary to your thinking when you're back on the field.
Yeah, I'd imagine that Garoppolo can't remember the throws. He'll have to watch film to actually see it's redone. And you play basketball all summer long. You work out, you run. There's nothing that you can equate to being tackled in a football game. And so you can be rehabbed and feel 100%. You don't know until you get tackled, until you get hit on your knee, until you fall down, and you have to stand back up and say, it feels fine, and now you're ready to go. So now you're talking about a quarterback that hadn't played a lot of football in his first game off of ACL going against a Denver Bronco pass rush.
Yeah.
Passes don't matter. The fact that he's standing today healthy is what matters to the 49ers.
What do you think, Mike?
I agree with that. From a front office perspective, when you have a major player like this coming off of an injury, you don't exhale until they get hit, like Joey said, and get back up. And look, recent history has taught us in football. Carson Wentz coming off of an MVP league, he struggled. Tom Brady has struggled. Phillip Rivers, there's been a number of guys that have struggled coming off of an ACL injury. It takes time. It takes time to get rhythm. So I agree with Joey. The fact that he's staying today, that's encouraging. But candidly, I agree with what Adam Schefter said. He did not look like he was in rhythm. He didn't look comfortable.
Those numbers that we just put on the screen were sort of to illustrate the point that you made that historically quarterbacks, even great ones, even the great Tom Brady, the first year they come back from ACL injuries, they aren't themselves. Brady's numbers that you saw on the screen there would be good for most people, but it was not a Brady-like season. The following year, he was back to being an MVP of the league. So it would be within the realm of expectation for Jimmy G to come back slowly. Again, he's coming back. The guy has still not played 16 games in the National Football League.
And that's why I think Kyle Shanahan, who does a great job managing offenses, I think the 49er offense early in the season may look a little bit different than it does later in the season. Maybe it's a little bit more boot, get him out of the pocket, rely on the running game so he could get his legs back under him.
All right, let me get up and go here. A few other things I want to get to with you before we get to our first break. And let's go to the other quarterback situation last night. Joe Flacco, 7 of 11, 59 yards for Denver. Drew Lock left the game in the third quarter, hurt his hand. Mike, what did you see from the Denver quarterbacks?
Boy, I was really encouraged. Actually, if you go back to Flacco, there was a terrible holding call by Garrett Bowles early in the game. If it nullified a huge play, he would have been 8 of 12 for 8.7 yards attempt, 104 yards. So if you look at win for today with Joe Flacco and developing for tomorrow with Drew Lock, the Denver Broncos are in a really good situation with their quarterback.
Yeah, most of what we're hearing coming out of Denver camp has been very positive on Flacco. Let me get you to another quarterback. Despite battling back stiffness, Aaron Rodgers was back on the practice field yesterday for Green Bay. While his status for Thursday's preseason game against the Raiders is uncertain, Mike, should he play Thursday night?
Yes, he should. And look, Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great, but my concern is he's never taken a snap with Matt LaFleur calling plays. There's a little bit of a work in progress from getting the cadence from the play caller, calling the play and getting to the line of scrimmage. So in a perfect world, that doesn't happen for the first time in a regular season game.
Smoking like a front office guy. From a player standpoint, we do not want to play. We don't care who is in our ear.
Fair enough. And then one more get up and go to baseball. Chris Sale visited Dr. James Andrews to get a second opinion on his left elbow, and the news is good. It appears he will avoid Tommy John. The bad news is he's expected to miss the rest of the regular season because of what is being diagnosed as inflammation in the elbow. The Red Sox are currently 6 games out of the second wild card in the American League. All right, we will pause, but only briefly. Much more to come. Antonio Brown's helmet issue isn't going away. Is this really about something else? Marcus Spears knows, and he will tell us when he joins us in moments. And we keep expecting Drew Brees' game to slip as he gets older. He keeps proving us wrong. How does he feel at 40? He'll tell us as he joins us live an hour from now. You're watching Get Up on ESPN.